Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks Parlays. We're talking postseason baseball, one of the ALDS. Now through the end of Monday Night Football, we've got a promo code for 20% off the entire site of picksandparlays.net. Use the code FALL, F-A-L-L. It's going to be the Rays and the Yankees, a pretty good matchup of the AL East teams in the postseason. Should be a good one. These two teams loved getting chippy with each other this season. So we might see some benches clearing as well. We've got Chip Chirimbes joining us to talk Rays Yankees series odds and just the matchup in general. Chip, what do you think when it comes to the series?
Well, I think the Yankees have put themselves in a difficult spot here. They certainly didn't want to have to play Tampa Bay at Tampa. And of course, Tampa had the best record in all of baseball and ran away with, in the American League, and actually ran away with it. And they've also beaten the Yankees like a drum, Chelsea. 7 of the last 8, 8 of the last 10. Tampa has really taken it to New York. It's like they get up when the Yankees come into town. The Yankees are averaging 5.66 runs in the 60-game schedule. But they will be having Cole on the mound, who's 8-3, 2.81 ERA, and his ERA better if he never had to throw to Gary Sanchez. We had mentioned that. And in game one, they sat Sanchez, and Cole was dominating. So Snell is going to be starting for Tampa Bay, most likely, who's on a 6-game winning streak. And he's 4-2 this season, but he's really been sharp the last 3 times out. This is going to be a great series. I think that Tampa Bay should be favored somewhat. They've got the home field advantage, and this game is being played in Petco Park in San Diego.
Right,
so
yeah.
the home field advantage is only batting last. Tampa was 23-9 at home this year, Chelsea, and I think that hurts them, the fact that this game is at a neutral site. If you're going to take the game one winner, wouldn't you want them for the series as well? So I'm not quite sure as what the numbers are quite yet on the game, what the series price is or the first game price, but that's how I'm sort of looking at it.
Right. I think if I hadn't seen the Yankees' first series against the Indians, my perspective on this matchup would be totally different because during the regular season, the Rays dominated the Yankees. As you mentioned, they won 8 of 10. And on paper, it looks like the Rays would dominate this series as well. But the Yankees looked really good. The wild card, that's what we're calling it. The postseason is a little expanded this year. But against the Indians, they scored 22 runs in 2 games. And the Indians have one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. All they did was take Shane Bieber down. And the rest of that rotation, my goodness, the Yankees were scoring runs in bunches, and that's really the lineup that everyone expected them to be. And I think because a lot of their sluggers were kind of hurt during the season, we didn't really see that for most of the year. So it seems like they're peaking at the right time. I think the issue will be after Garrett Cole, what will we see from the rest of the pitching staff? What will we see from Tanaka? Because Tanaka is normally pretty good, but he gave up quite a few runs to the Indians. Despite winning, still gave up a lot of runs.
Well, you're absolutely right. And the thing about this is, like I said, if you get the Yankees in game one, you could always come back and take the Rays for the rest of the series. The Yankees hitting, all of a sudden, they put the ball in play. They're going to score runs. Now, the Indians' ERA was the lowest in baseball as a team. I believe it was the lowest in baseball, at least in the American League, for the season. And the Yankees destroyed them. Now, Tampa Bay, the Rays pitching staff isn't that far below the Indians. And they have a few lefties that are tough. It'll be a low-scoring series and all the runs we've seen so far because of the dominating pitching that the Rays have.
Right, and I think another thing we have to mention is depth, because I think the Rays do have the edge when it comes to depth, when it comes to their pitching staff. The Yankees have obviously Garrett Cole, and then the back end of the rotation or their relievers really good. Zach Britton, Ottavino, obviously Aroldis Chapman, who Chapman can give up some runs, but he's still one of the best closers in baseball. So I think especially if it goes to 3 games, it's going to be, I think, a battle of the depth of the bullpens, and I think the Rays might have the edge there.
They really might. They may have a definitive advantage in the lineup, with the Yankees putting 3 guys at 400 or less. I mean, at 200 or less in the lineup. The Yankees, like I said, they've been inconsistent with this, and now they've got their big power guys back, and let's see what they do here. I'm really looking to see this because I think we're going to see some good baseball, but the Yankees have worse fielding teams in all of baseball, and the Rays have one of the better fielding teams. So the advantage goes to Tampa Bay there.
Right. I think some of that might be Gary Sanchez. Bless his heart.
But you can bless his heart. I want them to trade him to the Red Sox.
Oh, man. Well, it's hard to get him out of the lineup because he's such a good bat. But the
Well,
other thing I would say to consider is when it comes to the postseason, it looks like the teams that have the most momentum, that get the hottest, those are the teams that usually catch fire and end up doing the best in the postseason. I mean, we've seen it with the Marlins. My
yes,
goodness,
yeah.
like I don't think anybody picked them to advance past the world or the first round or even, make
Right.
it to the postseason. So I think the Yankees are maybe the hotter team right now, but I think overall I'd still take the Rays.
I could see it. I understand it, and it's going to be a great matchup. I'm looking forward to it.
Right, and also consider the prices. If somebody's a huge favorite, obviously, take a look at the numbers first. But that's going to do it for our baseball
Right.
talk here on Picks and Parlays. Good stuff from Chip Chirimbes. Chip, thanks for joining us.